I think the internet and the web and everything we associate with it has allowed us to, in some ways, rediscover older forms of organisation, which are more, in some ways, more communal, more sharing. So I think the notion of the commons and people sharing a resource in common, which is very antiquated in some ways, has come back into fashion thanks to the net. So people are getting used to the idea that through sharing they can create shared resources, whether it's Wikipedia, an encyclopedia, or a game, or a way of sharing their car or anything like that. And so it's something that is modern technology is being used to kind of recreate quite old ways of working, which appeal to quite a modern sensibility, because I think that the kind of generation growing up with all this stuff are naturally individualistic in some ways, but also naturally collaborative. And they think in very social ways about how to get things done. So it's that combination of kind of very modern, young, but very old, enabled by a technology that's just still emerging, really.
Why are people doing this? Why are people, doing these things for free? Why are people giving advice to each other for free? Or why do people want to share their car? I mean, is that a change in people, a change in technology? Why is it happening?
I don't think it's the technology. I think that it appeals to some very basic motivations that people have, and I think that three that really stand out. One is these things work when they're really practical. They do something for people, and they're effective. So if you're interested in software, then open source is a good way to get software. If you're interested in finding out facts, Wikipedia does a basic job for you. So there's something very practical about it. I think people like socializing. They like social connection, and in many ways feel that in everyday life they're socially disconnected, and so this is a way to re-socialise. And they like recognition. They like getting recognition for what they've given or what they've created. So this is working not because of the technology, it's working because it appeals to really basic motivations that people have. It satisfies kind of needs people have. And so the founder of Wikipedia, Jimmy Wales, says, less than 1% of the people using Wikipedia might abuse it. 99% of people want to use it and treat it well. Don't try and redesign it to cut out that 1%. Try and design it for the 99% who want to do a decent job. And I think that's true in a lot of these sites. What it brings out is people want to give things, they want recognition for what they've given, they want to help other people often. These are rather simple, altruistic, kind of decent motives. And actually a lot of these sites exactly play to those motives. That's one of the other things that's happening, is that because the web is now allowing more people to participate and more people to create, so you're getting more information, which in principle makes the world richer, but also makes it much more unfathomable. How do you find the right person? So we're now devising better ways to find who that is, better search engines than Google's currently very crude version of that, ways of compiling knowledge together like Wikipedia, social networks do this, online forums do it. So the key thing is that as we create more and more information, can we find more and more ways of collaborating to organise it and make it useful for us? And that's why participation and collaboration have to go together, because without the collaboration you don't get the kind of organisation to make all this stuff useful for us. I don't think these communities work unless they have some sort of structure. I think the structure usually comes from within, and some of that structure is find the person who knows, go to the person who knows best, ignore their titles, their history, their background, just do they know, are they a good source of information? And I think that's part of what the web is now encouraging. It's a sort of anti-credentialism almost, or an anti-titlism, in the sense that, go to the person who seems to have the best ideas. But it's also, I think, respect people who've been around longer, maybe, and acknowledge that at the end of the day, communities don't work unless decisions get taken. And so the communes in the 1960s and 70s in America, thousands of communes blossomed, most of them failed, largely because they couldn't take decisions. So I think there's a kind of hard-headedness about some of these communities as well, which I think really counts. We have to choose, is this a good piece of code or not? Is this a good piece of advice or not? If you don't make choices, you can't get things done.